Hey guys, what's up? This is like my third time making this video, and I think I'll be able to make it this time with a straight face. Yeah, so I got a text here. If you guys follow Shelby, which I think most of you do, that's my wife. Oh, let's see, got one more text. That's my wife. That's Shelby's Life on YouTube, which is, you know, Angry Grandma's granddaughter, Jake's brother, or I'm sorry, Jake's sister. One more text. You saw the news about Tasha. I'm gonna try to keep this upbeat and not get, you know, super emotional, but no promises. So it's been about a week now. It was, I believe, last Thursday. We noticed she was just breathing like. The thing about pugs is she's a purebred pug. Her name's Tasha. That's what this is about. So let me backtrack a little bit. We had a very bad scare with Tasha over this past weekend. We thought we were gonna lose her. We spent our weekend literally grieving. Literally crying for like 2 days straight. So Tasha's a pug. She is gotta be around 13 years old. We don't know for sure. A guy that my mom was dating like 10, 11 years ago had her. They moved in together, and it was basically his dog had to go, or her cat had to go, which was, you know, my cat Sarah, and my mom won that battle. I don't know how that went, what came about of that, but I think he was okay with it because, you know, she was going to us, you know, so he would still be able to see her as much as he wanted, you know, whatnot. So I think it was a fairly easy transition. I mean, I'm sure it was rough, but, you know, I mean, I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for the way everything happened because, you know, without that situation, we would have never had Tasha. And if we never had Tasha, then we would have never had Bailey, Coco, Bella, and Daphne, which is, Bella and Daphne are Shelby's mom and dad's two dogs. Bella passed away a couple years ago now. So we have Bailey and Coco. That's her other two puppies. And Tasha. So Bailey and Coco are like 7, 8. Shelby knows that stuff better than I do. And then Tasha, like I said, I don't remember how old he said she was when he gave, oh my goodness, I can't talk today, I'm sorry. I don't remember how old she was when he gave her to us. She was like 1.5 going on 2, or 2.5 going on 3, but she was just this little ball of life, like the most hyper loving pug, you know, like we've never had a pug before, like we've never really, you know, we've probably seen them in person, but like never played with one, never had one up close. So I mean, we were just infatuated with her, you know. She was and is, you know, just the cutest little dog in the world. Back then she had so much energy, like I can't even explain to you. Like, so me and Shelby had never owned, you know, like any pets on our own. You know, we were living on our own, but we never had any pets together, you know what I mean? So like I had a dog growing up, or actually a couple dogs, I think, that my mom got rid of. But yeah, besides the point. And then Shelby and, you know, her parents, they had animals, you know, cats, dogs. Dash, which was Tasha's mate, you know, that's who she mated with to have the puppies. And, you know, but like it was a village taking care of the dogs, you know what I mean? Like it was me taking care of, you know, my dog Bailey, you know, my stepdad Mark, you know, my mom, like all of us were taking care of her. So it wasn't just like, you know, it was different than owning your own dog, I guess, which is irrelevant to this story. But we didn't really know like how hyper this dog was gonna be. Like we were trying to sleep at night for the first like couple weeks, and like this dog would just be in bed with us, just hyper as heck, running around, waking up, you know, scratching herself and snorting, you know, because pugs snort. Like this dog sounds like a large man with sleep apnea, like myself. In broad daylight, you know, wide awake, she sounds like a big man with sleep apnea trying to sleep, you know, just snoring like crazy. So at first we were like really like taken back. We're like, we really considered like giving her back. We're like, she's so hyper, like we're not getting sleep at night, like she's got so much energy, like holy, like we were pulling our hair out. We're like, what do we do? You know, like we've never experienced this before, and we were young, you know, like looking back now, it's like, how stupid were you, you know, like, but we were literally like 20 years old, you know, so Sleep was crucial, you know, doing whatever, whenever was crucial. But, anyways, you know, fast forward to now, like, she's been blessed. We've all been blessed with her. She hasn't had like any major issues, you know, like when she had her puppies, she did, I believe, I don't know, remember which one got stuck. I don't know if it was Coco or Bailey, but one of the puppies got stuck during birth. She birthed two or three of them, and then one was stuck. So, you know, we had to rush her to the vet, and, you know, everything went good. They got the puppy out, but I think they did a C-section, but they also fixed her at the same time. She recovered great, like no complications whatsoever. I think really like the worst thing we've dealt with her was she had like a UTI, and we didn't know it for a while. So she was just having tons of accidents. We're like, you know, what is going on? Why is she peeing so much? And then one day, I don't remember if it was her or me, like we were watching Tasha pee, you know, just not like watching her, but like, you know, we were just standing at the door waiting for her to be done, and noticed right, you know, when she was done peeing, like there was a couple little drops of blood, and I'm like, you know, we're like, what the heck is that? Googled it, you know, it's UTI. Got her to the vet, you know, they gave her some medicine, everything cleared up, and it was great. Unfortunately, though, as she's gotten older, her hearing has severely declined. She can hear, like, if it's really quiet and you talk really loud, like, basically, like, if I'm home right now and it's quiet in here, if I talked loud enough to where you could hear me outside of the house, she can kind of hear you, like, you know, the TREAT word, or HUNGRY. She can hear those if you say it really loudly, because, you know, she'll still tilt her head, which is, oh my God, it melts my soul every time she does it. And then her vision is, I mean, she's not blind, because, like, you know, we can move our hands and stuff and she'll follow it, but like it's almost like it's, if I had to guess, it seems like she really is just kind of distinguishing between light and dark, because she'll like bump into something that's on the floor, but like if there's, you know, like if we have the lights on, she knows where we're at, because, you know, it's like a big change in the light. So I don't know, like, if she's blind and can see the lights or how it works, but, you know, it's really hard for her to see. So that's unfortunately two major issues, but, you know, it's not like a detrimental health issue, you know what I mean? They're both terrible and we feel awful for her, but, you know, Coco and Bailey, like, you know, she stays by them. You know, when she's outside in the yard, she, you know, uses the perimeter to get around. She gets around great. You know, once in a while, like I said, she'll bump into something or whatever. It's, you know, and she's like, you know, I feel terrible, but it's funny when she does it, because she'll bump into it and then she backs up and, you know, like makes this like squinty face, like, what the heck was that? But like one time she was walking off the steps and she went off the side of them and, you know, pummeled down, but she gets right back up and shakes off and just keeps going. It's the cutest thing ever. It's, again, horrible, but, you know, it's cute that she just, you know, she bounces back from everything. You know, she's just really, like, I mean, she's a great dog. So now that you guys know all the backstory, let's get to the horrible part. So last Thursday, I believe it was, pugs breathe odd as it is, you know, like I said, she snorts, you know, she snores when she's wide awake, you know, they cough a lot, and, you know, just genuinely have a lot of breathing issues. Again, though, she's been very good. Like, a lot of stuff we've read online that pugs suffer from, like, has not affected her. But this past Thursday, she was breathing, like, if you listened, they were like short, quick breaths, you know, which was like almost like, you know, when you take a dog for a walk or something, it's hot outside, you know, they're panting or whatever. She wasn't like panting with her tongue out, but she was taking these like short, quick breaths. And then when she would like exert herself, you know, like walk around the house, you know, or like walk back and forth from her bed, you know, to the crate where they sleep, she would like, it would get loud, like noticeably loud. Like right now, if I was talking, I'd be able to hear it. And, you know, we're keeping an eye on her. Shelby had to go to work, so I'm home alone with her. And then I noticed, like, it kind of calmed down. So, like, I wasn't super alarmed. I'm like, you know, maybe she's just... I did read online that there's a sickness going around in dogs right now, almost like a flu and, like, pneumonia type deal. You know, and it seems like there's always stuff like that going around. So, like, I wasn't super... Like, I was concerned, but I wasn't super alarmed at first, you know, full disclosure, and, you know, stupidly, I should have been, but, I noticed like as the day went on, or as the night went on, because it's 6 or 7 o'clock, it's pitch black outside, and I'm at that point, kind of like getting ready for bed. But I noticed as the night went on, like her breathing like that didn't stop. Like it kind of like stayed going like that, whereas earlier like it wasn't as bad. And then I noticed also that she seemed distressed, I guess for lack of a better term. Like she would sit in her bed, and now in her old age, like she sleeps probably, no lie, 22 hours a day. She's a pug. Pugs get lazy. They love sleep. They are so stubborn, and they're, for lack of a better term, like smart asses. It's hilarious. But that's her life. A lot of times she's just sleeping. She's chilling. She's conked out. Sprawled out in bed with, sometimes Bailey. Well, most of the time Coco's sleeping with her, but Bailey will be in and out of the bed. But I noticed she was just sitting there in her bed up here by the TV, and then their crate back there where they sleep, and she would not lay down. And I noticed like her stomach seemed like a little bit bigger than normal, like almost like she was like bloated or something. And I remember a long time ago, the cat my mom had, she was a super fat cat. She was a tabby, but she weighed like 20 something pounds. She had gotten constipated once, and like we didn't know it for a while, because just cats go in their litter box, do their thing, and once in a while you clean it out or whatever. But then my mom was like, I've been cleaning it out, and like I don't think she's using the bathroom. And so we were paying attention, and sure enough, she wasn't. And after a couple days, like it got bad to where we had to rush her to the vet. She was breathing like short, heavy breaths like that, and like fast, like almost panting. And I'm like, oh my God, I think Tasha's constipated, like, because her stomach's probably upset because she's got to go to the bathroom really bad, but she can't, and it's probably like maybe pushing on her other organs and making her like breathe weird. So I ran out to Kroger. I looked everything up online. The most common thing was giving them like pumpkin, like essentially like pumpkin pie filling almost, but just like the mushed up pumpkin or whatever. So I gave her some of that. I gave her a couple spoonfuls of that. She did eat it, so I was like, okay, cool. She is eating. And then it also said stool softeners. So that's what I got her, which isn't like X-Lax where it's just going to give you like diarrhea, but it's supposed to, soften up any hard stool that's got you blocked up or whatever. So I got her to take one of those pills, and then, unfortunately at this point it's like 9:30, so it's late at night. I'm usually in bed by like 8:30 because I got to get up for work at like 3:30 in the morning. And I sat up for probably another hour with her. I was petting her, just trying to keep her company and whatnot. The dogs were there laying in bed, and then she had finally laid down, and I was like, okay, thank God. Like that, the weight like kind of like lifted off my shoulders. I was like, okay, at least she's laying down, because she looks so tired, like she wanted to so bad. And she laid down, and she wasn't like panting, but she was still breathing a little bit odd, but she wasn't like panting or anything crazy. And I was finally like, okay, like I gotta go to bed. Shelby's gonna be home from work in a couple hours, and she'll notice if anything's up. So I go to sleep. I wake up, and usually first thing I do, horrible trait, is I sit there on my phone in bed scrolling through, and I notice our Ring camera, our doorbell camera thing was like person at your front door, a bunch of them, like hour and a half ago. So I'm like, if she let Tasha out front or whatever, that's normal. But there was like more than one, and then in one I saw like a car's headlights in our driveway, and I'm like, so I click on it, and it's Jake's car. And then I see Shelby, walking out the door. I couldn't see her with Tasha because she was like holding her in front of her as she walked past. But I'm like, or I was like, okay. So I come downstairs, and Bailey and Coco are out here, not Tasha. So my heart just literally sank. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So I call her, and mind you, like I'm still half asleep, like I'm trying to wake up. I slept for like probably 4 hours, so I'm super tired. I call her, she's calm and collected on the phone, explaining what happened. She's like, I got home, her breathing was horrible. She was like panting, blah, blah, blah. Same stuff I noticed, but like she described it as being like way worse at that point. And so she called Jake, didn't know what to do. And then they called this 24/7, like, basically like emergency room vet, for animals that's open 24/7. And she asked him to, like, could he pick her up and take her down there, and he was here in a heartbeat, and I cannot express my gratitude enough to him. So they were there when I called. She was, they were already on their way back without Tasha. And basically, at first, she summed it up as they said it could be some form of cancer or congestive heart failure. And my heart just broke in half. I'm gonna have to stop this video. And whew, sorry guys if I keep stopping the video. This is why. Her oxygen was really low, so they put her in like a oxygen, I don't know, it's like an oxygen chamber, and they were doing like x-rays, and there was fluid around her. I don't know, Shelby said they said there was fluid around her heart, but also I think they said there was a little bit around her lungs or something too. Don't quote me on that, because like it's so much happened in these 2 days, and so much grieving and depression, and just it was horrible. Basically though, they said she's like she's in that oxygen chamber. They're giving her a couple different types of medicine, and aside from that, I don't really know what else they did. But like I said, her stomach was like bulging, like she was bloated. I thought she was constipated. She said no, that's not what it was. She wasn't constipated, and that's not what it was. And I get all this thrown on me as I have to go to work. So I had to, take a quick shower, and I'm just, in the shower, like just crushed, felt like my world just collapsed. Luckily Shelby got home a few minutes, probably 10-20 minutes before I had to leave, so I could, be with her for a minute. And that was probably 2 of the worst days at work of my life. But at the same time, being at work was almost like, I don't want to say a miracle, but like a good thing, because like it kept me physically and mentally busy, where I couldn't think about it too much and dwell on it. And then you get the people, your close buddies at work that notice something's up, and they're like, hey man, what's wrong? And then you're just like like in front of all the guys at work, trying to keep a straight face and not cry when you just want to like literally sit there and break down. So the amount of money just to get her in there was, the x-ray was $550, and then they said they needed $3,000 to like basically continue whatever they were doing. And basically it was like, you can pay us that money and we'll do what we can, or we can euthanize her. And like, I'm glad I wasn't there, because I think I would have lost my mind. The fact, like, I know they have to get paid. I understand that wholeheartedly. Like, I get that. And I get that, a lot of people might screw them over or something like that. But, I could never, under any circumstance, whether it's a human or a pet, look at somebody, in that profession and be like, well, here's what you got to pay. Otherwise, she's probably going to die. Like that to me is just mind blowing. Our society and this system we've created is so messed up. This video is not about that, but it's mind blowing to me. Like it hurts my soul, because anyways though. So basically they said they're probably gonna have her at least 2 days, and they're giving her this medicine, and by the next morning, like, a lot of the fluid had, I don't know if broken up or dissipated. I don't know the terminology, so I'm not even going to pretend to know, but a lot of the fluid was gone, and she was doing better. They still had her on oxygen, and the reason her oxygen was low is because she's taking these quick short breaths. Her body can't like absorb the oxygen from breathing because she's not taking normal breaths. So that part made sense. I wasn't worried about like her not having the proper oxygen. as long as she was able to breathe normal. Like, if they could get her breathing normal again, like, I knew that would solve the oxygen issue. And if she was breathing normal, then, you know, that fluid should be gone or mostly gone, you know what I mean? So at some parts, like, I was very optimistic, but at the same time, to be, like, full disclosure, me and Shelby basically just kind of prepared for her not to come back home. Back again. We spent 2 days, and we both had to work. So I'm at work in the morning, and she's been doing a lot of late shifts. You know, like a kind of like a afternoon to like midnight type deal. And so, you know, like, we both had to deal with this while also working. And like I said, at times being at work, you know, was like almost a relief because you were like busy and not thinking about it. But then at the same time, there would be times where like it was front and center no matter what you did. And, you know, you had to just fight through it and try to be okay. But so they called us like at 7 or 8 in the morning the next morning, like after, you know, she had been dropped off there. They called us, I believe, at like 7 or 8 that night. And then like 7 or 8 on Saturday morning. And so basically at 7 or 8 on the first full day that she was there, they said they wanted to try to start weaning her off the oxygen, that she, you know, they fed her a little bit of food. You know, the fluid was looking better. They were going to do an x-ray again the next day to, you know, be able to really check again. But they wanted to like kind of wean her off the oxygen, not just like cut it off cold turkey, but, you know, kind of like slowly, you know, wean her off of it or whatever. And then they're like, you know, we'll give you guys a call, you know, tomorrow morning around 7 or 8 and, you know, tell you how it's going. And, you know, the doctor gets here at such and such time. So, you know, like, it was insanely good to hear that, but still terrifying because we were just still convinced, like, basically they had told us, like, to sum it up, that what she has, like, if it's congestive heart failure, she's got it for the rest of her life. And, like, I believe her exact words were like, you know, we can put her on this medicine, she could pass away tomorrow or in 6 months, you know. So, like, having that time frame just crushed us, you know. It's like 6 months is like the best we have, you know. It's like, is she I'll get to that stuff later, but and if you're still watching right now, I definitely appreciate it. So the second day, which was Saturday morning, they called and they said, you know, she's fully off the oxygen. You know, she ate a little bit. You know, the x-rays were looking good. And I never spoke with them, so it was always Shelby, you know, because obviously she was the one that dropped them off, so they had her number. And, you know, basically to sum it up, like, you know, she was okay to come home. And she was on a amoxicillin. And then she's got 2 more other pills. And I believe those 2 pills, one's like a water pill. And I believe that helped to get like rid of that fluid, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other one is a heart pill. And I don't know exactly what it does, but she has to be on those 2, you know, for the rest of her life, which is totally okay. You know, if we can give her some medicine to keep her going, we're totally down for that. But we had also, you know, had a serious talk, and we basically said, you know, we were in full agreements that we don't want to selfishly keep her alive. And what we meant by that was, we don't want to keep her alive if she's suffering. You know, we want to keep her alive because, you know, she's our little baby. She's, you know, like, that's our puppy. You know, that's Tasha. We've had her for so long, and she's such a important part of our family. You know, we don't have kids. We literally cherish these dogs like they're our kids, you know, like, and I know some of you with kids might be like, oh, shut up, that's stupid, it's a dog. If you don't understand, you don't understand. I'm not here to explain it to you, but these aren't animals to us. These aren't dogs to us. You know, these dogs are as important to me as my wife is to me, as my mom is to me, as my family is to me, as her family is to me. These dogs are literally equivalent. You know, it's not just like, oh, you know, it's a dog, we'll get another one. It's not like that for us. So what we meant by like we don't want to be selfish is we don't want to keep her alive to make us happy if she's going to be suffering, you know, like we don't want her to be lifeless, we don't want to be suffering, you know, so we kind of just accepted that we probably weren't gonna, you know, see her anymore. Like, you know, we when she does pass, we do want her cremated, and we, you know, we talked about that as well. But when we brought her home, it was just like this dark black cloud and weight had just been taken off. And when I knew Shelby was going down there to get her, she got her. So Saturday I was at work, and she went down there at around 10 a.m. I believe, 10, 11 o'clock, and picked her up. And just like, you know, obviously sent me a picture. And it was just like this cloud of darkness just left. Like, I was on cloud 9. I was, you know, cracking jokes with the guys at work, you know, laughing and having a great time again, and, you know, so excited to get home. And then when I got home in the door and saw her, like, I just literally broke down. Like, I came in the door and I saw her, like, she stood up out of bed and walked over to me, and I turned around and closed the door and just literally broke down. It was so amazing to see her, and it was insane how much smaller she got. Like, just like her stomach area went from, you know, like a balloon to just like, she had lost so much mass so quickly that like her stomach skin was like wrinkly, and I was like, oh my God. And, you know, she was walking around, you know, she was just very close to being herself. You know, she was, obviously those first couple of days were rough still, you know, she wasn't really eating too much, but basically, you know, let's fast forward to today, which is Wednesday night. She's like herself again, and if anything, like, she's almost like more herself than she was even last week before this happened. Right now, like, we're kind of spoiled. We're literally pampering this dog. Like, she is spoiled rotten. We're, you know, cooking her food, like, we're, you know, chicken, you know, like brown rice, vegetables, you know, eggs, you know, making these nice foods, and she's so spoiled that she won't eat her normal dog food, which is why we're doing this. She's drinking tons of water like she's supposed to. They said that's an issue a lot of times is, excuse me, they won't drink enough water, taking these water pills. Oh, speak of the devil. Tasha, you know I was talking about you? She's like, yeah, I'm gonna go get a drink. Excuse the mess. Oh, you know what? She might be hungry. Actually, let's listen. Oh yeah, she's taking a drink. So she'll be taking a drink for a while. She drinks like a camel. She's never had an issue with drinking water, that's for sure. So, anyways though, like, we have been, like, as you guys can probably imagine if you were in our shoes, like, we are pampering this dog. But we're, you know, cooking her meals like that. To go, you know, OUT, we are, like, carrying her outside because they said, you know, they don't want her to, like, exert herself too much because, you know, she does have this heart condition, which, you know, basically makes it like her heart can't pump enough blood. I believe that's what I read online. I believe that's what, you know, this means. But luckily for her, and the reason I'm so optimistic is, like, you know, like, if something like this happened to Bailey, it would be horrible because that dog is... Oh, be right back. I gotta take her outside. She's by the door. Okay, I'm back. She's looking around. She's like, where'd you go? Oh, there's her typical little yak thing she does. Okay, so basically, yeah, like I was saying though, so if Bailey got something like this, it would be 10,000 times more concerning. Not that this is not concerning. I don't know how to word this. So sorry if it sounds stupid or like heartless. That's definitely not how it is. But I guess basically what I'm trying to say is Tasha is such a lazy dog, you know, that I think she has a very good fighting chance. You know what I mean? Not Now a dog like Bailey, that dog gets so hyper. Just us, like if I walk in the bathroom, close the door and then come back out, or go upstairs and come back down, or go, you know, out the front door and come back, she is like, oh my God, Dad, I haven't seen you in forever. I didn't think you were coming back. You know, just freaking hyper as can be, you know, jumping up and down. So I feel like something like this with Bailey would be a huge issue, because like we would have to like keep her like tied down or something, you know, not tied down, but you know what I mean, like somehow like keep her like doped up so she's just like sleeping all the time, which would be horrible, you know what I mean? You know, so for somebody like Tasha, like she sleeps the majority of the day. Like her exercise is going from this bed to that bed, or this bed to the water bowl, or to the food bowl and back. And then, you know, when we bring her outside, she might walk around the yard for a minute, you know what I mean? So like she really doesn't do anything like exerting, you know? So that's why, like, I'm maybe it's a bad thing, maybe it's a good thing. Like normally I'm a pessimist. Like I always see the bad side of things. Like I always look at the glass half empty. It's a horrible trait of mine. But on this one, like I feel like I'm being very optimistic. Like I really think, you know, she's got a good fighting chance. And I'm sorry for this video being so ungodly long and probably so boring with just me talking, but just wanted to give you guys an update, because I know, you know, probably a lot of you saw it on her channel and might want, you know, another side of it, or, you know, whatever. Or, you know, if you guys haven't watched the video yet, you know, now you know. But can't thank you guys enough for like all the comments and support and love and tips and, you know, anything like that you've left on her video. Like, you know, she's gotten so many, you know, so much outpouring of love and support, which has been amazing. I know she's read probably all the comments. I don't think she's had a chance to like respond to them all or like them all, but just know, you know, we see them. So thank you guys so much. And if you stuck around in this video, I definitely appreciate it. And you know, just keep Tasha in your prayers for us. You know, that's our baby. We don't want to lose her. You know, we want her to be around for as long as we can, you know, as long as, but with that being said, you know, as long as she's not suffering. So also forgot to mention, so she goes for a checkup on Monday, which will be approximately, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, about 10 days since we got her back, which is exactly what I think they said, like, you know, a week, 10 days, you know, get her checkup. So Monday she's going in for a checkup. I hope she passes with flying colors. So, you know, please keep her in your thoughts and prayers, like I said. And I will see you guys in the next video. Also, I do want to mention, you know, some of you guys following me, you know, watching my, you know, man cave build or whatever. I still have been working on that. Obviously not as much, and obviously I did take a couple days off from it. But like, I felt guilty, like wanting to keep working on it. Let me rephrase that. I felt guilty working on it when you know, she was over the last couple days still, you know, not herself, and you know, the couple days she wasn't with us, you know, at the hospital. I felt so guilty, like even going up there and working on it, but like it wasn't like that I wanted to. It's just like I couldn't sit home alone by myself downstairs, you know, and just be in my thoughts. You know, some of you guys will probably know what I mean, but like I couldn't bear to just, you know, be down here, even having the TV on or watching a YouTube video or listening to music or anything. It just wasn't enough. So being up there, like physically working and, you know, focusing on whatever I was working on at the time, like it kept me like mentally and physically busy, which was, you know, like similar to being at work, you know. So I guess it just, you know, kind of helped pass the time. And then, you know, when I got done, I would come down here, take a shower, and break down. So yeah, so thankfully we've been good. Tasha's doing phenomenal as of right now, and I'm sure if she could, you know, if I could put her on my lap, I'm sure she'd wave to you guys and say hi, but she's just chilling now. So all right guys, I will see you in the next video.